Hawaii County Code 1983, 2016 edition, as amended relating to the Code of Ethics. Amend Section 2-83 by adding a definition for truthful and requiring that officers and employees of the county be truthful when performing their duties and dealing with the public. Introduced, Ms. O'Hara.
This was requested by a constituent, and we've heard from that constituent. He's still here if anyone has questions for Mr. Tucker. But it's not the first time I've heard this same concern expressed by constituents, and it didn't seem a difficult task to add this language to the Code of Ethics.
Nothing would preclude a complaint from being brought for some officer or employee not being truthful. Now, I hope nobody gets the wrong impression. I'm all for being truthful. In fact, Miss Leloy over there in Hilo will attest to this. She and I will often gripe in her office, and one or both of us will say at some point, why can't guys just tell the effing truth? Because it's very, very frustrating when you deal with employees, line administrators, high-ranking administrators, the public. Everybody has their own slant. Sometimes people make up their own information. It's very frustrating. Very difficult to make decisions on that basis, good decisions. But when it comes down to it, in life, you're going to have some people who just cannot tell the truth, and you're going to have some people who will adhere to the truth. But at the same time, to codify something like this, it's going to be very, very difficult.
There's a fine line with that, the interpretation or what somebody may be saying that they believe to be true. And so anyway, I'm not supporting this because it's just so many uncertainties, and I think it'll cause some unintended consequences and a lot of liability for the county.
Usually there's two different sides of something, and normally the truth is somewhere in the middle. However, there are times where the truth does exist. There are certain facts that if somebody is responsible for accurately expressing to another in our capacity as public officials, that if we knowingly tell someone something that we know is not true, even within the departments, like how this bill describes, underneath the purview of what would fall under the Ethics Commission, I think that we could work on defining what truth could be and what truth is, if that's a concern. However, I do believe that there is a meaning to truth that is consistent across the board that we can apply for every case.
This amendment to the existing code is really, it's a policy statement, something to strive for. Now, everything in here, all of the section already, has invited all different kinds of complaints that have come to the Board of Ethics. It doesn't resolve an issue, but it just states a policy that we are trying to strive for. We don't want to say that we're not going to strive for truthful because people can't tell what the truth is. That's not really what this is about. We're defining truthful. It's very simple. Stating, telling, or expressing accurate and correct facts. That's very simple, the definition. And so, like I say, it's just a policy statement, what we're striving for. I don't think it's going to invite a mammoth landslide of complaints, as Mr. Kamehameha suggested. I don't believe that's going to be the case.
Well, first of all, this is more than a policy statement, okay? Because there's recourse or recourses that can be had against employees or officers that are deemed not to be truthful or not being truthful. But I would say this, if there is some kind of element of knowingly stating an untrue fact knowingly now, or being grossly negligent in stating an untrue fact, I'd be more inclined to support something like that. But sometimes people make mistakes in reciting facts. This definition opens that person up to sanctions at the Board of Ethics. But if someone really purposely or negligently, grossly negligently brings up a falsehood, yeah, I'd be willing to support something like that.
And I'd actually like to see that department have a lot more elements within their business dealings with timing, accepting applications, building permits, response to those building permits within 20 or 30 days. We see that at Parks Department where they have timing elements, at Planning Department they have timing elements where they have to respond in a timely manner. I'm really on the fence on this one because I'd actually like to see more accountability from that particular department than this broad brush approach when so many other departments have to respond to applications in a timely manner.
Yeah, I will move to postpone this bill. I will make every attempt to come back with, if you can, please turn off your mic. Come back with language that reflects this discussion. I am concerned about the adverse impacts, and incorrect or inaccurate information can be given for a number of reasons. It can be an honest mistake, but it can also be because the employee did not do the due diligence, kind of gross negligence, or it can be intentional. And so there's various reasons why that may occur. So I fully agree that it's better to articulate this change in the ethics code more thoroughly, and I will ask for a postponement.
Mr. O'Hara, to what day or indefinitely, or call of the chair? Or?
Call of the chair.
Thank you. And do I have a second?
Second.